All right, Jules. I disagree with you, as I foreshadowed. And let me tell you why. I mean, we have two managers who both can play in many, many different ways. But I think it became clear in the first 10, 15 minutes of the game that first half was going to involve Bayern playing mostly on the counter, right? Mostly with the speed of Gnabry, trying to release Kane, whatever. So then, and Real Madrid at home, without pushing it, because they rarely do push it, right? But they said, okay, fine, we're going to play our game. It was a cagey first half, or even first half, let's say up until the hour mark or so. But I thought Real Madrid had the bulk of the better chances. To that point. So I think we can say whatever they were doing was working.
Yeah, but the plan was just to give the ball to Vini. Give me another...
No, I agree. They weren't getting anything right. But they were getting so much joy from that.
Oh, yeah. But that's fine. That's fine with me. I tweeted last night, it was the Vini show and that worked perfectly.
But I think that also ties into some questions that can be asked of Tuchel and how he approached it. You know, because it's not just like the issue of Kimmich in midfield. He's not a 6, blah, blah, blah. Go back to playing right back. He puts him at right back, fine. But if you want to do that, if you can see that he's really struggling against Vini because, a lot of players struggle against Vini, but especially Kimmich, get him some help. Get him some help. Get somebody, Leimer presumably.
Yeah.
And I thought they were very effective. And if you go back and you look at heat maps or not, part of the reason I thought that Bellingham was, wasn't so influential going forward is he ran himself into the ground and was often coming over to Vinicius' side to try to help. I mean, there was no question that was the overload that they were looking for, which then created space in the middle, which is part of what, we saw Valverde come inside into two or three shots, horrendous shots.
Though. The space in the middle for who? They had no striker. That's why
I think the plan was for Valverde to fill that space, coming from that side.
Didn't.
But to that point, I think Real Madrid were on top, and that doesn't, in terms of chance of created, doesn't mean they were going to score. When they were beaten by that worldie from Davies, and this really was a worldie. I'm not going to criticize Rudiger for showing Davies onto his weaker foot.
No.
You're out there, you're in space, you're one-on-one with the freaking Roadrunner. You're Rudiger. Hey, if you're going to beat me with your weaker foot. And we find out that Davies has a decent right foot as well.
I'm not sure he has. I think he can try another 99 times and he would not put it the same way. Great transition. That's all they could do anyway in that game. We've said it before. We said it on Monday. Their game was all going to be on transition. I think once it goes 1-0 up, and it was funny because Tuchel, as the Bayern players are celebrating, Kimmich is in the middle of the pitch. Tuchel is like calling him, and with the noise, he can't hear him, and he's like moving his arm to get Kimmich's attention to say, we're going to go to a back five, so you're going to get the help that you need. But even before that, you see him talking to Kimmich and say, like, it's you now, it's you. If Vini doesn't do you again, then we have a chance here, we have a chance. And to be fair, where I think Carlo was great is that Vinicius played central in the first leg. He was central, he played, you look at his heat map, he played central, so Dyer and Kim in that game, and we saw Kim obviously being done on the first goal, had to deal with him, not Kimmich. This time, he was literally like last season, like when Benzema was in that team. He was by the touchline, on the left, didn't move from there, hardly moved from there, and Rodrigo was the one more central, so the opposite to the first leg, because I think they clearly thought this time at the Bernabeu as well, we're going to put him on Kimmich and he's going to destroy him. And he did. And to be fair, I don't know if at some point Tuchel, even mid-first half, should have swapped Kimmich and Mazraoui maybe. Would have Mazraoui made a difference against Vini, against this Vini? I'm not sure. So maybe go to a back five before. But 0-0, can you go to a back five? I'm not sure either. So there's a lot of things. He goes 5 minutes after the first goal for a back five. And for 12 minutes, that's good until the Neuer's mistake. And that's why I'm thinking, what if Neuer doesn't make that mistake? Why if, instead of throwing the ball with his arm like he does, where he doesn't need to. Doesn't need to. Kick it long, even if you're going to lose it, but at least you lose it in their side. Now you've lost it in your own half, where your players were pushing the block, 4 passes, Vini shots, he fumbles it, Joselu scores, and that's it. And after that goal, you could see in the stand, you could feel in the stadium, there's just no way back for Bayern. The body language, and then you know that Real Madrid, you know it's not even going to go to extra time that Real Madrid are going to score a second one.
Yeah, I'm not going to crucify Neuer for that mistake.
Why?
Because of the saves he made earlier. I think you have to balance out.
I disagree.
Goalkeepers
What do you mean balance out? Well, some keepers don't have a great game, and then some keepers have great games and don't make mistakes.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm not like if I had to make a list of the people responsible for this defeat. And by the way, when I say responsible, obviously there's credit to the other side. There's a reason why Real Madrid are so good and have so many great players.
Yeah.
And Bayern are third in the Bundesliga, right? So let's make no mistake about this, right? The outcome, Real Madrid winning, is what everybody would have, or most people would have expected when they said, ooh, who has the better team here, okay? Mm-hmm. So when I'm saying who's responsible, when we look for things that Bayern could have done differently, I mean, if I line up, yeah, Neuer's part of it, but I would obviously have Kimmich in there. And you can say, well, Kimmich shouldn't have been put in that situation, which is why I would definitely put Tommy T in there. I would perhaps put the approach in there too. Because if I have Musiala on the pitch and I don't get him the ball, I might as well not have Musiala on the pitch. What? He's there for his pressing combinations and stuff?
He's great in transition. He's a great player. They can't get the ball off him. You cannot not play Musiala in a game like that when you're going to play in transition.
No. I'm saying is, what if in Musiala and Kane, I have two players who are very good at dropping off, creating space, stuff like that, right? Why do I just play on the counterattack when?
But I told you on Monday, you can't go there and not play on the counterattack with the players that Bayern have. Because this is what
he's Tommy T. He's some kind of tactical genius.
But that's what they're good at. They're good at having Sané, Gnabry, Musiala and Kane and play on the counter. This is what they're good at. Why would they have gone there and played differently to what they're really good at?
Well, I might argue, mix it up a little bit more. I might argue, by the way, this is not how you get in most weeks in the Bundesliga. They don't sit back and play on the counter. No, but they destroyed
Dortmund this season playing on the counter, for example. Dortmund, they are in the Champions League final.
Dortmund, who are fifth in the Bundesliga.
They're in the Champions League final.
No, but I guess I was disappointed. I'm like, dude, this is your last big stage at Bayern. Maybe you could come up with something a little bit less predictable. When he became unpredictable, 5 minutes from time, what does he do? Who are the two players he took? We agree. We don't have a problem with Kim and going going five at the back.
Yeah.
Although, again, Upamecano, I don't know how this guy feels, right? So you bring in the guy whose confidence was destroyed in the first game, but whatever. That's another issue. And you obviously don't like him. You're the coach. You're allowed to do what you like. And the same thing goes for Goretzka, again, carrying a knock, whatever. I think his size and his physicality could have made a difference off the bench. But what I question is, at that point in the game, you're 1-0 up. Are you really so arrogant that you think there's no way that they can get an equalizer? So I'm going to take off Kane and Musiala for Choupo-Moting. I mean, are we serious here?
And Müller, I don't know. I mean, I guess he wanted to keep the kind of presence up top. So when you get rid of the ball, it's still you have Choupo-Moting that can hold the ball up, and
which Kane can't do.
Yeah, he can.
I mean, afterwards,
Kane had been running. Kane had been running for 85 minutes. Musiala as well. They gave a lot. They defended a lot as well. The transition takes a lot of energy off you because obviously every time you recover the ball, the first thing you do is you sprint forward. So I don't know, but I thought it was weird, especially in case he had to play another 30 minutes.
That's the main thing.
Time. Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. That's a fair point.
On the Real Madrid end, I didn't. It's not obvious that you would bring on. Obviously, you are going to bring on Joselu, and when you're chasing the game at that stage, and Brahim Diaz to say, hey, why don't we attack down the right for once since we've done nothing on that flank. Yeah. However, I don't think it was obvious. And what I love about this is, we know people in football are superstitious, right? I don't think it's obvious at all to take off Rodrigo and Valverde the way he did. And maybe he didn't have too many other alternatives, right?
Yeah.
But Valverde, both those guys are people who scored huge late goals in the recent past. Yeah. Both those guys are people who have energy, who you think in extra time, I can maybe use them more than somebody else. Again, I think he read that part pretty well, and if this game goes into extra time, there's no doubt in my mind that Real Madrid win this. I mean, we agree on that, right?
Yeah, I think
once
so.
you've taken Kane and Musiala off.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he wanted to go into 4-3-3. You see when Brahim comes on, he says to everybody, it's 4-3-3 now. Obviously, Joselu would go into the number 9 position. So there was no space for Rodrigo and Valverde. Tchouaméni and Kroos have already come off, which is for Camavinga and Modric, which is again the natural, the normal substitution. So I had no issues with Valverde and Rodrigo coming off. Really, I just love the Joselu story. I mean, the guy is 34. He never played in the Champions League before. He's a massive Real Madrid fan. He's Dani Carvajal's brother-in-law. He was
relegated 4 times in his career.
Yeah, he's on loan, man. With the formula, he's the less talented of all their squads, and yet he's there. He scored those 2 incredible goals. He came on in the 81st minute. There was 9 minutes of added time, so he played 18 minutes. He touched the ball twice in the Bayern box.
It's 22 minutes, actually, because it actually went on for...
even more after the 9 minutes, yeah.
It's 13 because of the goals.
Yeah, touched the ball twice in the Bayern box. That's the 2 goals. He had 2 shots, that's the 2 goals. He had 10 touches of the ball. He did 2 passes. He had as many shots as passes in that game, and he wins them this semi-final. I just find it incredible. And, he just, at the end, I saw him in the flash interview, and he was just like, I just cannot believe this is happening to me. Can you imagine you're 34, you're a Real Madrid fan since you were a kid, you went to the academy, it just didn't work out for you, nobody ever thought you were good enough for that team, and you've just sent them to a Champions League final again.
No, I think it's one of the many tremendous subjects.
Incredible.
I wanted to get you quickly on the goal that was disallowed, the Nacho Kimmich incident. My reading is that if Kimmich were a little taller, this...
Yeah, his chest.
It might have been...
Because
there's no question, it's one of those typical things where they're going in to wrestle.
Yeah.
Nacho should know better than he should realize this guy is short, I'm tall.
Yeah.
If I go and I need to push him low or find another way to get loose, do a swim move or something. But when I extend my arms like that, there's a good chance I'll either hit him in the face or as happened in the throat.
Yeah, like a WWE.
As an aside of that, and I am not poking fun at Harry Kane, what was pretty remarkable, I don't know if you wouldn't have seen this unless you watched it afterwards on the television, right? So Kimmich goes down, right? And I don't think Kimmich is necessarily milking it. I think, it is a shot. Like, it's a hard blow to the throat, right? And obviously all the Bayern players surround Marciniak and stuff, and Marciniak's telling him, like, guys, chill. This is why VAR exists. Yeah. And by the way, and I put this out to all the people who hate VAR, who think the world would be so much better without VAR. I think without VAR, this could have easily been missed, right? You're putting all the onus on a referee who's only got one set of eyes and an assistant who, has a very blocked view from the other side. The other side, what struck me is Kane's talking to him, and Kane is making the elbow gesture again and again. He's like, and he's saying, like, you can see his lips moving, like, I saw it, right? Which is funny because, you did not see Nacho elbow.
You didn't see, definitely.
It's football. I'm not having a go. I love Harry Kane. I think he's a gentleman and everything. But it was just very, very funny. Marciniak's like, dude, chill. I think it helps Marciniak run these games, too, that he's bigger and stronger than everybody else.
Yeah. He's not scared at all. Yeah. But you see with Nacho's reaction, once the ball goes in, he knows straight away that he fouled Kimmich and that the goal is not going to stand.
Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty evident.
You could see on his face.
Final point on Tuchel and the eternal story that is the Bayern coaching race. I mean, obviously, we talked about Hermann Tiger Gerland taking over with Thomas Muller as a player coach. They've already made it clear that even if Tuchel had won the Champions League, he would not have been back. Yeah. Where are they?
You know what? I'm not sure exactly in terms of negotiations where they are. We saw Heiner the other day saying, don't worry, we will have a great appointment. You've been humiliated so far. It's a humiliation for a club like Bayern Munich of that size, of that pedigree, to have been like clearly turned down by so many managers that they don't even know what to do now. Because if you go down the Thomas Muller player coach, I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. And I really think he's been an embarrassment to them, for them. This like, they thought it was a good idea to keep Tuchel so you could prepare for the post-Tuchel era and who you're going to take after. And look at where they are. They probably would have had more luck had they sacked Tuchel back in March or whenever when he announced.
Some of us suggested that there's no point keeping a lame duck there.
As well. And then, obviously, because you need to act quickly to replace him, maybe you're more efficient. I don't know, because now it's dragged, and you've had a no and a no and a no and a no and a no, and now you're down to your 7th pick, which is Ten Hag and the Tiger and Muller. I mean, come on. Don't you think for a club like that, it's embarrassing?
I mean, I wonder, Sebastian Hoeneß obviously extended his contract at Stuttgart.
Yeah.
I wonder if they aren't thinking, all right, let's put a big wad of money together and go and buy him out and say, Stuttgart, release him.
Right now, it's probably the best thing they can do.